Should we kick it off?
I think so.
Okay, my name's Adam Browse.
I'm Scott Moppin.
Welcome, everybody. This is Solutions from the Multiverse. That means we're a podcast where new solutions each week.
We present new solutions, hopefully that you've never heard of, hopefully that are helpful and innovative and entertaining.
Opening minds. Just opening minds. We're not experts.
Definitely not.
We don't even necessarily promote what we're saying, really.
Wait, what?
Like the solutions, we don't necessarily, like, we wouldn't die on these hills necessarily. They're just ideas. They're just potential things.
Right. I think what you're saying is if there is an actual expert who is listening and has actual good ideas that are different than what we're saying,
great.
Let us know and we'll instantly go, yes, okay, we'll do this instead.
We love it. Exactly, right. It's all about just new ideas. As soon as you think there's no new ideas, I feel like people become very controllable. You know, if everyone's like, everything is already given, it's all on the table already, then it's like, well, then we just it kind of resolves to like a zero-sum game. But if there's new ideas every week, it's not a zero-sum game anymore. Maybe the solution's right around the corner.
Right. And, you know, the world is facing more and more problems. Honestly, we're going to need all the solutions we can get.
Solutions as we can come up with.
Yeah.
Right. So today I have a solution that we're going for the heart.
Ooh.
Yeah, relationships.
Okay.
This might be triggering for both of us.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding.
I hate relationships.
Oh, dang it. So the idea is, it turns out that there is like pretty good science now and good like psychological science around relationships and how they work and how to make them like work really well and how for people to be very happy in their relationships. Okay. These are like known things, like not like, oh, this is a hunch of some Freudian, Freud sitting there smoking a cigar saying, I think it's, some crazy thing.
Right.
This is like actually like researched, like, they have thousands of couples who diary and journal and they put cameras in their houses and they record everything they say for months and months. And then they really compile and look and see, okay, here's how you actually make a relationship good. It's like a known factor now.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay. I'll cut to the chase. The idea is we take these kernels of truth that science has found to make good relationships and dating apps put in micro e-learnings into the flow of the use of the dating apps and train the whole population en masse how to be good at relationships.
Okay. So are you letting the person know who's using the dating app that this is happening, or is it secret?
No, say you're like, I'm just spitballing because I haven't had this idea for a long time. So, here's my basic idea, right? All these apps are based on this swipe sort of interface, right? So you're swiping. So maybe you swipe like 3 or 4 times, and then it's like a little thing that's not a person's profile. It's like a little video or like a little quote or like a little, did you know? And it kind of gives you a bite-sized piece of information that then helps you to be better at relationships. And so you're kind of drinking it in.
Yeah.
I mean, that it's, what it is. It's not subliminal, but it's
kind of like
it's
just
embedded.
easing you in.
Yeah.
And making you, just improving you overall, like the meditation app does or something.
Exactly.
I've not been a user of the dating apps at all because I've been married the whole time.
Congratulations.
But thank you.
You're lucky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was really looking for that.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would. It's a little late, but I will take it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No, but I haven't done dating apps, but I've done video games. And what you're talking about sounds like a tutorial stage where they teach you what to do in order to advance and level up your relationship game.
Exactly.
And maybe at the beginning, you're only allowed to date crappy people, and then you do the tutorial, and then they let you date nicer people.
So this is the interesting thing. So you joke, but think about it. What if you could take little micro assessments and watch little e-learnings, and then maybe that makes your profile go higher in the algorithm or whatever, right? To other people who have higher algorithm, higher desirable profiles.
This person has a nice, look at their emotional intelligence level.
Yeah.
They clearly are doing something where they know what, we're not going to be fighting over nonsense. This is good. Or look at this person's like financial maturity level.
Yeah. Or like, it's communication. You know, it's probably like, I would say there's probably, I mean, from the research, I've read probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 of the major sort of books on this, which are all great. There's all this stuff on attachment theory, which is like that's kind of the bedrock of it. And then there's all this stuff on like intimacy stuff, like sex stuff. That's like really interesting and important. And there's a bunch of stuff. Anyways, there's probably like 7 things, 7 sort of, rubric sort of levels you could work on. Just like anything. You know what this is analogous to is I've heard of, like banks or like maybe it's like fintech, like startups that will give you a better interest rate on your loan if you complete like a bunch of e-learnings. So if you go through their like e-learning portal and you have to pass little quizzes and really verify that you know the stuff, they'll actually give you like a way lower interest rate, even if your credit score is like bad or something.
Well, auto insurance gives you better if you do driver's ed. Like that's why as a kid, they're like, do driver's ed so that you're a lower payment on our auto insurance. That was what my parents said.
And they have the embedded thing now in your car. Have you seen that? Where you can actually implant like this electronic thing in your car that tracks if you're a good driver or not.
Oh, I didn't know this.
So it tracks things like sudden stops. Sudden stops. If you do too many sudden stops in a month, it shows that you're like not a very good driver.
Or you're like, I really don't speed. You can watch. Look, see,
yeah, exactly. You're not speeding. You're not doing sudden stops. You're doing gradual acceleration. You're not doing like fast acceleration, fast stops.
You put one of those on your car and then immediately go do donuts, and the person monitoring it is like, hold on, sir, wait a minute. Did you just? They're like, no, show me the data. I want to see. See how fast that's going.
I want to be in that. I want to be at that terminal. It's like, Johnson, come and look at these numbers. What do you make of this?
What could it be? Like a bunch of people crowded around the monitor.
My God, he's way off the charts.
The only thing that goes that fast is a space shuttle.
And it cuts to the driver, and he's just like donut hole, like in the
donuts on ice, like through.
And then it's like, you're going on 0 dates. I mean, if you do that in the dating app, when nobody wants to go on dates with you, that's what they should give you a discount on your insurance for. Have you ever heard of these like driving classes, like high intensity driving classes?
Oh, the ones where they like teach you to drift and like parallel park without like doing it like
slide
from the side where you're like
yeah, like that.
Crazy.
But I think if you got, or like cops get this training too, where they say like drive up until the red line and then hit the brakes, and it's like crazy. Like you don't realize it, but cars can actually, like, if you really slam the brakes, like cars can stop like on a dime. And so the cops get like trained on how to do this really aggressive driving. You should get a discount on your insurance for that too.
Well, and stunt drivers in movies, I mean, they have like every movie car crash, well, hopefully is a carefully planned stunt that's executed with like real like skill and planning. Precision.
Right. But so the idea here, I'm thinking about it now from a bunch of different angles. So, okay, so you embed these little e-learnings in, and they could be super lightweight, but I would say they should be evidence-based, right? Like you shouldn't just be like, oh, we think it's, our interns wrote this all. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like that. There should be like someone who is a trained,
real stuff,
scientific, psychologist, PhD, who is like, knows the cutting edge of relationship stuff, and they could design, and each app would be a little different. Maybe Bumbles would be different than Hinges, and they could even take different sort of theories. One could be one sort of theory of relationships, one could be another. It doesn't matter. It would
then they can compete with each other and be like, we have the best relationship upping, like, which means you're going to become your better self here, and also you're going to find better people.
Right.
Buzzing
the
around
best
here
people are going to be in our community.
The best people bettering themselves the best. No, I should not be
the bettering people besting the bettering people.
We're the best besters if you best on the best stuff. No.
I'm thinking about how it could be. I've got so many ideas in my head that kind of pinwheel off of this, but one of them is, okay, people complete these things. They kind of improve their profile. Mm-hmm. Maybe they even get like badges, like a little... bling to show that, hey, I'm like I have like 1,000, maybe I don't know how many points or things, like how much you want to kind of gamify it, but just have people be reassured that like, this person's like really working on themselves, like really trying to be their best self, to be in a great relationship and to be in like a long-term relationship and be married and be whatever.
Well, like on like Duolingo, if I'm learning a language and it tells me. It tells other people I have like a 600-day streak if I've been doing it for almost 2 years or whatever. And then they go and you go, oh, you can't just jump in and start doing that. That's showing that you've been at least working at this consistently. There's also an app. I don't know if it's still on going on. I think it is. It's called Van Gogh, and it's an art selling app. And in order to sell your art on there, you actually have to start selling at a low price. And then as you sell low price art and get high reviews, you can unlock more expensive art that you can sell, which means when you go on there and you buy like a $10,000 or $20,000 work of art, you actually know that you're getting something where the person has actually like worked up to that and demonstrated a demand for their work and like
high ratings,
being able to deliver on their stuff over and over
and
again.
High quality. And, so it kind of gives you, it's like the same thing. You're kind of like building up. It's really like reputation, but it's not just reputation. Like, oh, you promised to like make the good choices. Like, I'm not saying on a dating app, previous people you went on dates with should be able to rate you like an Uber driver. See that? I don't think that would work. No, because then you get sort of people who are sad or bent out of shape.
Oh, you mean less than genuine reviews in an after relationship situation? Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah.
Right. So dating apps don't do that. That'd be bad. But just taking these evidence-based good things. Like, for example, I'll give our listeners solutioners. I'll give them a little tidbit of a good one. So there's one that's by these guys named Gottman. They're a husband and wife psychologist researchers pair, and they do this evidence-based stuff. And one of the things they talk about is they looked at all this data, like I said, the diaries and video cameras and interviews, and they came up with a lot of things that good couples did. Self-reported happy couples. So they say, we're really happy. Okay, what do they do? Obviously, you don't want to copy what the people say they're really unhappy do. But they find that the thing that really differentiates down at the base between really successful, happy, like really happy couples and less happy couples is being able to like argue for your side or kind of, take a stand for what you want or what you believe, but not antagonize your partner, not like vilify or antagonize the other person. And that's kind of an interesting little trick, right? Yeah. Like, it's kind of hard to do, actually, right? Because it's really easy to kind of get in someone's face, kind of antagonize someone while standing up for yourself, or it's easy to be a doormat and like not stand up for yourself at all.
Right.
But the people who are really happy are able to do both. It's kind of cool. So what if you just like taught everyone on the apps how to do that? It's kind of been a cool opportunity.
No, that's immediately in my mind is like, oh, that sounds like a much nicer society after,
right.
After however many iterations rates, of that.
Right. Lower, happier people, more partnered up, coupled,
people who learn how to take disagreement and not as immediate, oh, we are now nemesis for each other. Right. But like, oh, maybe there's a compromise or third option.
Right.
That can figure it out, but not immediately be like, oh, well, you are now my sworn enemy for life. That a new step.
And you are my husband at the same time.
Well, because it can feel like that in a relationship, especially because you get so passionate about something and you're with someone who you probably are with the most amount of time. And so you're going to run into friction and it can feel like immediately like, oh, you're against me. Now we are at odds. And you forget that you're like, oh, no, we are a team ultimately in this thing together. We're just momentarily at odds.
Right.
So,
or I just have to stand up for myself. I do want pasta for dinner and not salad or something, or whatever it is, the tiny things.
You read my mind. That is usually my thought.
Carbohydrates
I do want pasta for dinner and not salad. Yes.
Well, I hope you're able to stand up for yourself in this case, not antagonize your partner. Oh, wait. Okay. I'll give you another one of these cool little like scientific sort of studied facts about relationships. Guess what is the common denominator between the majority of happy couples?
Pizza. Wait. What?
Close. Close. Linguine. No, it's actually that they were happy before they got married.
I mean,
isn't that, when you think about it, it's obvious, right?
The other side is like, we are unhappy. Let's go ahead and get married is, yes, probably a bad,
problematic, right?
Probably a bad path to take.
So it's interesting, like, people always, especially in a relationship, they're like, well, what are we doing wrong? It's something we're doing or it's something they're doing to me, when really, like, if you look at the research, it's like two happy people get married they're happy. They have a happy marriage. I mean, sure, they have problems and troubles or whatever, but they report this is we're happy. If so it's interesting. It shows you that actually, just like we're suggesting on this dating app thing, work on yourself, right? Get yourself happy, and you'll make yourself a fantastic partner to be with other people.
I mean, not through the app, but like in a way, I had to go through that sort of thing before I was ready for a long-term relationship, like that sort of thing, where I didn't get married until later. Like I got married when I was 30, and I have friends who got married right out of high school, and everyone's different. But for me, that would have been such the wrong move. And in Kansas, where I grew up, and in the religious upbringing where I was, that was not super. Like people would get married in college or before, young. And I just am so different now. And I'm so different. I was so different when I was 30 than I was when I was 20, that the person I would have partnered up when I was 20, I would have either had to stay that person I was, or we would have had to grow together, which is a huge roll of the dice, or I would have grown and been a completely different person and probably been in an unhappy spot and trying to figure out, weighing my options. What do I do? So I think leveling yourself up is hugely important. And if you can if you can do it through an app, if they have a way to like give you short bite-sized pieces that can help you climb up those steps, that is humongous. That's
you mentioned emotional intelligence, or EQ, like that's the same. That's exactly could be a whole part of this, right? Like just trying to get people to, to feel all their feelings. Each of us, some people have great, emotional awareness, and they're aware of their own emotions. They're aware of other people's emotions. I mean, it's just amazing sometimes when you meet people and they're so aware, and then you meet other people, or you are one, where it's like you're completely unaware. Maybe you're aware of your own feelings, but you're like completely unaware of other people's feelings. And so it's like you need people to like literally just tell you how they're feeling, or you can't tell, or you don't even know how you're feeling. It'd be amazing to have an app just be like, a little micro thing like, what does sadness feel like to you? And like, when were you last sad? And you might be like, why is this dating app asking me this? It's like, because
I'm sad right now. I want to be using this dating app.
Because if you can feel sad, if you can feel all your emotions, if you can know your emotions, detect emotions in others, you can be such a better partner than if you can't,
I mean, it's like microtherapy. And what is the hardest part about getting people to deal with therapy is motivation to get them to do it. And the great thing about a dating app is motivation.
We got motivation
baked right into the core premise of the thing.
We got cute girls.
Like people are going to keep using the app and keep going to see more options. I refuse to use the dating app that makes me a better person.
Right.
I want to use this dating app for crappy people. And all the ladies on there are just like cool with that.
Yeah,
so.
They're cool. And then the other thing would be, where are the women going? I'm just stereotyping, but the guys are going maybe to these, like, they're going to their bro at the gym and being like, dude, how do women work? Oh, let me tell you, bro, it's like this. It's like, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, or who are they going to, right? Are they going to like a trained scientific professional to learn about how to be in relationships?
I assume people talk to their friends. Like,
they talk to their friends. And what do their friends know? Nothing.
Depends on who your friends are.
Your friends are PhD psychologists in relationship theory. And then where are the girls going? Okay, or the women, who knows? But in my narrow personal experience, they talk about astrology. They talk about signs. What are the signs? Good signs, bad signs. I'm just going to lay some truth bricks down here on this relationship stuff. I read all these books. I worked with a relationship coach. I learned a lot about relationships. Nowhere did anyone in any of those books say there are like good and bad signs. There's no signs. It's not a thing.
There's 1/12 of humanity isn't just out of luck as soon as they're born.
Right. Good. So Libras and Pisces can do fine. It's not about. There's no different matter. But the point is, it's not signs. It's. I mean, there's some compatibility, sure, but it's not signs. It's skills. People are either good at being in relationships or they're not yet, and they need to get better at it. And this idea of like, oh, there's like good signs and bad signs. I think it's sort of romantic, like, oh, it's written in the stars or star-crossed lovers. But when you really drill down and say, look, do I actually want to be in a happy relationship? Do I actually want to be satisfied and comfortable in this relationship, it's going to come down to the skills you develop, emotional intelligence, your ability to feel your own emotions, see other people's emotions, communicate in the proper way. These relationship skills. And I didn't know this I certainly didn't know this when I was 20 years old. I didn't know this when I was 25 years old. I didn't know this when I was 30. I mean, I got married too when I was when I was something like that, 32 something. And yeah, I didn't know any of this stuff. And it's not hard. I mean, I read like 5 books. This is not like rocket surgery, This isn't like 25 hard skills you have to learn.
Right.
This is like 6 simple things,
that continually pay off as you learn them.
Totally.
Throughout your days, all the time.
And not just with your romantic relationships.
Right.
This helps you at work. It helps you everywhere. Yes. It's crazy. So these dating apps, I mean, this is the crazy thing. Like these dating apps, everyone's like, oh, dating apps are stupid, or they kind of commoditize relationships, blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure. There's criticisms. People are, and they're kind of weird or worrisome in some ways. But if this came out of it, if all of a sudden apps became a way that everyone who was on the dating apps all got really good at like emotional intelligence and communication and relationship skills, that's almost utopic in some ways. Like it's pretty amazing.
What if all like the middle-aged married people are just like dunderheads when it comes to relationships?
Right, they're all idiots, right?
And all these young 20-somethings are just like, oh, you just haven't given the right space to the right.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't given right space to the argument and given like validated this person's feeling. Like
yeah. They're speaking at this high level.
You're 21. What is going on? Gee,
that's so funny.
Like, I use the apps, dude.
Oh, it would become the apps. Well, and maybe you'd have to make like a. Well, but then there's no. I mean, if you're married, would it be like, look? Don't
you get to date,
get divorced,
if
but
you
go
become a better
on the
person.
dating apps. Go on the dating apps. Fantasize. Maybe it's just fantasies, but then follow the e-learnings.
I don't think.
Wouldn't it be funny?
This feels like a bad.
If your therapist, your couples therapist, was like, "Look, here's what we're gonna do. These are really good e-learnings. So we're just going to have you swipe through Tinder and do the Tinder e-learnings." That's so ridiculous.
The problem isn't that you have a bad relationship. It's that this one person in the relationship is just a bad person. So we're going to recommend, I'm going to prescribe these dating apps. I know that sounds weird because you are married, but
you're going to stay married.
One of two things will happen, and one of them is good. So we're going to just roll those dice.
One of two things are going to happen. Actually, both are probably good. But yeah, one is less painful than the other. Right?
True.
But yeah, those are interesting.
I immediately start thinking, I think of a problem that could come up immediately. So let me throw it out. If I now am a super rich, terrible person, I'm going to pay someone to level up my character on the dating app.
And then
I'm going to come over there and they're going to be like, look, it's the greatest human who's ever humaned.
Yeah.
And then they're going to meet me and I'm going to be like, what's up, idiot? How's it going? How's it going? Let's go do some stupid stuff. And they're going to be like, how did you? I'll be like, I'm rich. That's how it works.
I just paid for someone on the internet to level up my profile and I bought it.
They sat there and I mean,
you're always going to have this, I guess. Damn.
There's a person behind a computer somewhere right now who is such an awesome person, and
they're just racking up the points.
They became the awesome person, but whatever. I paid for it, so it's mine now.
But people are interested in this too, because man, if you sit down, guys or girls, but especially girls and guys, I guess. But if you sit down and say, hey, do you want to hear, if they think you're an authority and you say, hey, you want to learn how to be in a really good relationship? You want to be really smart with your gal, really smart with your guy? I mean, that's what magazines are. Like, that's what sells Cosmos and Men's Health magazines, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's popular. It's interesting. Like, I don't think these apps would be like taking some huge risk in doing this.
True. And I was never approached for relationship advice until after I was successfully married for a while. And then I had single friends started asking me stuff, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's
they were like, hey,
oh, you have
dialed in,
you have figured something out to this point. So
what do you got?
What do you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm like, haha.
The other thing is these apps are always struggling to like make money. That's why they're always like trying to gouge you for like, they ask you for more money, monthly subscriptions. And they have one where like you can buy roses and then you can like give roses to like the profiles you really like. And you want to kind of show them that you really like their profile.
Okay.
You have to pay for those roses though. It's like if you're sitting at a restaurant in like Malta and then like somebody comes up and is like, buy a rose for your wife, like that.
I mean, it's like it's a new skin in a video game.
That's right. It's
virtual goods.
That's right. It's a virtual good and it drives some functionality or whatever. Okay. So they're always looking for money. Well, what if there was like an embedded, I mean, you could call it, I wouldn't call it therapy or counseling, because that's more kind of like, therapy is more like you have a problem.
Right.
I would just call it like romance coaching, which is great, right? Relationship or romance coaching. And you can embed that inside the apps. And now people could just be like you could be like, swipe, swipe, swipe. Oh, you're not getting very many matches. Why don't you work with one of our relationship coaches?
And maybe the algorithm features people who have just completed segments with the coaches.
They worked with the
more
coaches.
prominently because they're like,
this guy knows what he
our
wants.
thing is we're vouching for this person on a certain level, so we're going to show them more.
Right.
So that also encourages people to kind of freshly. And
you know what they do now? They promote people who other people have swiped right on a lot.
What?
So that's what they do. The strongest people in the algorithm are the ones who lots of other people are swiping right on.
Like they're like, hey, check out this hottie.
Yeah, exactly. It's built almost entirely on profile quality. So the people are trying to game their profile like crazy. Like I have a friend who's like a tech PM guy, like total techie, and he A/B tested his profile because that's the way his brain works. And he was like, this photo, all right, swap to this photo, and how many conversions did I get, and like how many dates did I get, and how many, like, and I'll change like and he read all this stuff about all these theories online about like how to make your profile the best as possible, because that's what the algorithm is rewarding, is the quality of profile. But what if the algorithm rewarded quality of your actual ability to be in a relationship? It's crazy.
It seems tricky to orchestrate or to build the architecture for, and then amazingly rewarding as soon as you've got it.
Yeah.
Having the bits of a relationship building, relationship coaching, relationship leveling up.
Right.
That's humongous. That would be crazy? And you could put your level up, and then you get new and interesting things. You don't have to do the same, like the same mobile ad that shows up every 20 seconds. You don't have to do that. You get new and interesting things that are
and you're like, of course I'm going to pay for this. It's awesome. It's making me a great person. It's making me a great, couple person.
They're like, I was paying for a dating app anyway. This one makes me better and serves up better matches of better people.
Right.
Yeah, of course I'm going to pick this one. Right.
Yeah. Because they're all fighting, right? They're all competing with each other. So this would be a major distinguisher between the different.
And people are on, I think people are on multiple ones usually. And so you can tell immediately if you start liking one, or if one starts delivering better results than others. It's evident because you're A/B testing with all the different apps all the time. You know?
I mean, I wonder how it would, I mean, there might be some pushback, because with dating and with like raising your kids and with like various things, people are kind of resistant to the idea that there's a science behind it. They're resistant to the idea that there's like a kind of things that work at better than other things by default, like objectively. People are like, no, it's me. I'm different from everyone else, or art, subjective,
Partly to blame are movies and TV, but people love the love at first sight, soulmate, like zing, boom, we're matched forever. No additional work needed.
Right.
They love that version of it,
which is so stupid. I mean, you could have a great date that way, or a great, maybe even 2-week love nest thing, but you're not going to get married with that. It's going to be so hard. For sure,
don't put all your eggs in that basket. That is such a long shot. I mean,
unless you're willing to actually start learning the actual skills and doing the work. Yeah.
If you look in the mirror and you are a 1990s Meg Ryan and you happen to know Tom Hanks, it might
go
work.
For it.
It could work.
Yeah.
But if not, maybe have some other plans. Plan B, C, more.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But that could be a problem. People could be like, no, it's, the ways of the heart are unknowable. And so we should just leave it up to people to sort of do things their own way. But I think as soon as you know this, as soon as you read these books, they're so excellent. Like, it's not like you read the books from like 40 years ago. It's like, make sure the man walks on the outside of the street and the woman, it's just idiotic, But these days we have like totally turned multiple corners in this regard, and they're totally open. I mean, these books are always like totally like, they're always talking about gay couples and straight couples, and they're talking about, old people who are married and old people who are dating, and young people who are married, young people are like, they're not like in any way limiting this to some like, oh, you have to kind of fit the square hole in a square peg in a square hole. It's really really good. Strong evidence, strong research, plausible. I just love what they've come up with, and especially in the last 20 years.
Well, and I remember dating. And like trying to figure out dating, which was, it's a mystery for everybody. I think going into it, and I would not like walk into a bookstore and be like, let me find a dating for dummies book or something. You'd feel kind of dumb doing that.
Yeah,
so you don't do it.
Right.
But the idea that I would be like, no, leave me alone. I want to figure this out completely on my own. That I remember that not being the case. And if there was something that was like,
just
this will help this will help, and
Yeah.
you can figure this out, and you can do it in the privacy of your own phone.
Yeah. And you could just be sitting on the,
I would be on it.
Sitting anywhere you like and looking at it. And it could be totally private. Maybe it doesn't even show any kind of like badge or anything. Maybe it's just your profile will be, if you do this, your profile will be boosted in the algorithm.
Yeah.
But no one,
some sort of benefit. They'll figure it out. I mean, tech people they love A/B testing.
Yeah, they'll
figuring out where the lines are.
Yeah, maybe people love having a badge that says you're a great communicator or something. Although I think that would probably not fly. You probably just want it to be like your algorithm, the algorithm just shows you to other people who've completed these things, so now you're getting people. That's kind of cool. If you don't complete these e-learnings, we're only going to show your profile to people who haven't completed the e-learnings too. That's a threat.
That could be
a threat.
Well, there's your subsection of your dating app where it's like you message someone, you're like, I noticed you didn't complete the things, and they're like, yeah, man, I couldn't be bothered. And they're like, yeah, me neither. And like, oh, we might be
Let's have an
match.
Unhappy relationship together.
let's have a short unhappy thing until we motivate ourselves to come back and use the app the right way.
I think it could be a real game changer in terms of happy relationships.
No, I like it.
It
makes sense to me. It's the way I try to learn languages. It's the way I try to learn
Duolingo.
It's the way companies try to force me to learn their video games when I first start out playing them.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Well, cool. Well, the next steps are just to like, maybe we'll just send this. If you like this idea, we'll just ask our audience. If you like the idea, send it. Let's send it to the dating apps. Let's say support Q, and then be like, hey, listen to this. Boom.
Free
SFM.
Free ideas for whoever wants to implement them.
Yeah, that's what this is.
It's true. We don't take a cut, at least not at the beginning. We might circle around later and take a cut if it's, worth our time.
If they want to send us like a fat check, like 5% of the extra revenues this provides, that'd be great. They
give us tokens to dating app.
We don't need that. We don't need that. We're in relationships. We're fine. What are we going to do with these? I think we fixed dating.
Well, we will as soon as this goes into as soon as this goes into production.
Yeah,
dating's fixed.
Dating e-learnings. Sounds
That's
so
exciting.
boring.
I didn't know we were going to fix dating today.
Yeah,
excellent.
Hang on to your hat.
All right. Well, stay tuned and come back next week and see what we fix next time. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something interesting.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Hey there, thanks for listening to that episode of Solutions from the Multiverse.
Yeah, we're back with a little after roll. Hello.
Hey, after roll. Roll that after roll. So basically, we want you to subscribe and rate and review and tell someone, like take your favorite solution and send it to someone who you think would like blow their mind to hear it.
Yeah, we love making the show. We're proud of it. And we're excited. We want other people to show. We know that the main way people find podcasts is word of mouth. I know that's true for me. I listen to my friends who also listen to podcasts tell me about ones, and I go, okay, I'm cluing into that. So we want to be part of that chain.
So thanks for being a part of Solutions.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again real soon.
Bye.
Bye.